Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This time I am doing a book haul. I have had books stacking up since the last book haul that I did, so I need to do this because I am planning on reorganizing my bookshelves really soon. I don't know when you're going to see that video. I honestly don't know when you're going to see this video, but I need to do this book haul so I can move on into the bookshelf reorganization. That is the plan. So let's go ahead and start out. I have a lot of special editions, but I'm going to start off with my non-special editions first. So I have books that I have gotten from my sister and my niece in our monthly book exchange that we've been doing. First one I have is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know if I said that correctly, sorry, but this one is a very short book and I actually already have it and have already read it, but I don't have this version, so I kind of got a cute little special edition of it. This young man goes on a quest and kind of discovers things about himself. I think it's very like introspective and just kind of like a commentary on a lot of things versus like the actual story of it, but it was an interesting time. I do remember reading this one. Next one, this one was sent to me by my niece and it's called Daughter of Dragons by A.J. Flowers. I believe this is a self-published book. I can't see a publisher's name on it anywhere, and in this one we have a tattooed motorcycle riding knight goes to slay a dragon. He didn't expect Nimrock High's most popular girl. I am not 100% positive. This sounds like a paranormal fantasy romance. I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see where we go with this one. It is fairly short, so I probably will be trying to read this one before the end of the year because I'm trying to read all of them, but yeah, this one I think should be interesting. And the last of the gifted ones that I have in this haul is The Magician of Tiger Castle by Louis Sacker. I don't know how you say that. It's the author who wrote Holes, which I loved as a kid. I love the movie too. I believe this is kind of a like forbidden romance with a arranged marriage trope to it, and I am just interested. I think it's got a fairy tale feel to it. It is an adult novel, which I don't think that this author has ever written before, so I am intrigued to try this one out. Again, it's not that long. They're being nice to me. Okay, on to books I've just kind of picked up in different settings. The first one I have is The Dragon's Blade by Michael R. Miller. This is the first in a trilogy, I believe. I think all of the books are out. I honestly picked it up because I think that the cover is so pretty. I really love it. But the back says, Book 1 in the now complete trilogy, a fast-paced epic fantasy perfect for fans of Raymond D. Feist, Ari Salvatore, and Brandon Sanderson. So I love books about dragons. I like fantasy. I feel like this was completely a cover buy, and I don't really know much about it, but I kind of love going into books that way. This next one, again, was obviously a cover buy, and that is The Great Library of Tomorrow by Rosalia Aguilar Solis, and look at how pretty this is. I absolutely love it. I picked this up while I was on vacation in Montana. I think that we have kind of this servant to, what is it? The Sage of Hope. So not a god, a sage. And she's been working in this library, the Great Library of Tomorrow, and something happens where one of her friends, co-workers, comrades, is either hurt or killed, and then there's just like this big upheaval in kind of the politics, but it seems more like the religion. I'm not positive. I'm intrigued to see what we have here, but honestly, this one was like a cover buy. I'm interested to read it, but I picked it up because it's so pretty. I picked up a couple more books on my trip to Montana, which are books 4 and 6 in the Zodiac Academy series. I have been slowly making my way through the series, really slowly. This is an adult romantasy series. We're set in a world where there are fae and they are attending this academy to kind of like learn how to use their powers. We are following these twins who are technically like heirs to the throne, but they're really not at this point. It's a lot of stuff going on. It is a bully romance, which I don't exactly love, so I'm intrigued by the world. I don't love the writing or the characters really, but I am continuing because I'm intrigued by it. I don't really know my feelings on this series, but I got books 4 and 6 because they were really cheap at a used bookstore. This next one I've had my eye on for quite a while, and that is Reign and Ruin by J.D. Evans. I picked this up at an indie bookstore, and I was really surprised to see it because I believe this is still self-published. It was at that time, but this one was in this competition for independently or self-published books, and I think it did quite well. People were really talking about it a lot and said it was really good. I hear that it is fantasy with romance and that it's just such a good mix of the two, and I love that in books. I really do love when like the fantasy is just as well done as the romance, so I'm really interested to read this one. And again, I think the cover is just so pretty. So yeah, this one's actually really high up on my list. I want to read it soon. This next one I don't remember where I got. I think it might have been at Barnes & Noble, but I can't remember. That's House of Blight by Maxim M. Martinu. I am struggling with names today. And this one follows a woman who has healing abilities, but using them takes something from herself. And she is called to like heal someone really important, but there's definitely more going on here than we know. I think this is kind of a fantasy horror book, and I'm really excited for it. This next one I picked up when my friend Angela was here visiting. We both got it and decided we were going to read it at the same time, and that is Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher. I am absolutely loving T. Kingfisher right now, definitely on kind of a kick of reading her books, but this one follows a girl who inherited from her uncle, and she is being like held captive by her uncle's relatives because they want that inheritance, and she draws a sword because she is going to end her life, and then a man comes like out of the sword and is now bound to protect her. That's the premise, the setup of this book. I found it interesting, entertaining. I had a decent time with it, but I really like this edition. I think it's such a pretty, cute book. It has the little sword there on the cover. But yeah, I have actually already read and finished this one. Next one, again, I think was just a purchase at a Barnes & Noble trip, and that is Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. This is the same author who wrote Air Awakening, which I did not enjoy, but I am really hoping to like this one. I think this is a magical fantasy, like dark academia story, which I absolutely love fantasy dark academia, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy this one. I think it has a very strong romance plot to it though, so we'll see what I think. Like, I hope I'm going to like it, but I haven't liked her stuff in the past, but it's really pretty. I really like this edition. So yeah, I'm hoping that I really love this one, even though I haven't loved her in the past. I also picked up this Barnes & Noble edition of The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This has these special sprayed edges. It is like heavy. This is a really kind of heavy, thick book. The pages are also like very white, which I have noticed with Barnes & Noble special editions that is a thing. It also has a little bit of foiling on the naked hardback as well. This is by the same author as One Dark Window, and this one we follow a girl who has spent her life in this convent. No, Abbey. What is it called? She is somewhere. Cathedral. It sounds like his word. And she and some other girls are what they call diviners. So they will like come really close to death, dream these dreams, have some sort of premonitions, and people come to them for these dreams. And she is one of those women, and then is finding out that some other things might be going on. I like this one a lot better than One Dark Window, I will say, and I'm excited to read the second one. I think it's only going to be a duology. This next one I picked up at a used bookstore. I actually think this was in Montana as well, and that is The Sword and the Stone by T.H. White. I have never read this book. I think that's kind of crazy that I haven't read it because it is such an iconic classic fantasy story, but I kind of like this edition. It like has illustrations in it, which I think is really cool, and yeah, I figured I should have a copy of this book. I should read it. It just kind of makes sense because I am such a fantasy lover and this is such a classic story. This one, again, I just kind of grabbed at Barnes & Noble when I was there, and that is The Mercy Makers by Tessa Gratton. This book says, a heretic must decide between forbidden magic and the ecstasy of forbidden love in the start of a decadent, romantic, epic fantasy trilogy. So I am hoping that this one is going to have some really good writing, awesome world building, because this author wrote Queens of Venice Lear, which I hear is like really beautifully written. I haven't read it yet. I don't really know exactly what caught my eye about this one, but I feel like I'm really drawn to it, and I think it's one I would love. These next couple books I picked up when I was on a trip to Barnes & Noble because the authors were there and were selling them, and I am just kind of a sucker for that. I feel like when indie authors go to Barnes & Noble and try to sell their books, if it's fantasy, something I might be interested in, I tend to buy them. The first one is Laertes by Carly Stevens. I am definitely not saying that correctly. Sorry to those of you who know how it's pronounced. But this book, I think, is a dark academia book that is kind of based on like Hamlet. So intrigued to try this one. And the other one is The North Tower by Michelle and Haggard. I think I did say that right. And this one, I believe, is a fantasy story. So this is like an urban fantasy, and our main character like doesn't know about magic and then is pulled into the world of magic with promises of a fresh start at the Magisterium of Magic, a prestigious school for the rich and entitled. So this sounds like magical dark academia, which also I am intrigued by. You guys know that I love that subgenre. These next two I just grabbed out of Little Free Library on our walk because they are ones I want to read, but I only have special editions of them, which are so pretty, and I don't want to read those. Some I do, those ones I don't. And that is Empire of the Vampire and Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff. This book, I think, follows a man who's telling his story as he is in prison. I really don't know too much about these, but I feel like people either love or hate them. I'm intrigued to see my thoughts, and if I don't like them, I can just return them to the Little Free Library that I got them from. I also think that the third book in this series has recently come out, and I don't know how many there will be, but I think it's just a trilogy. I'm not positive, but I think so. These next two are books I got for my birthday, and the first one is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This one is set in the same world as her Divine Rivals series, but is set before the Divine Rivals and follows gods, which if you've read those books, I think you can kind of guess where we're going with this, but I am so excited to read this one. I think I will absolutely love it. I think this is one I'll like even more than the Divine Rivals books, just based on like the premise. And the other one I got was Silver Cloak by L.K. Stephen. This was a gift from one of my patrons, Adrian. I am so grateful. Thank you. She sent it to me as like a happy birthday and a congratulations for finishing school, which, oh, thank you so much. This one I am so intrigued by. So the magic in this world comes at a cost, and we're following a girl who is like trying to get into this prestigious academy that trains people to kind of be like magical warriors, I believe, because she wants revenge on the ruling class who murdered her family. I am so excited to try this one out, and I'm also going to be buddy reading it with Adrian in December. So yes, I also feel like this one just kind of gives me you should read it in December vibes. I don't know what it is, the colors about it, I don't know, but I think it's going to be perfect for December. It also has kind of this interesting embossing on here, which I really love. And the rest of these books I actually got at like book events where I went to some sort of like the book release or whatever it was. The first one is Alchemized by Senlin Yu. This book is based off of the fanfiction Manacled, which is set within the Harry Potter world, but this one has been rewritten, so it is in a completely new fantasy world, so it's no longer based on that one, which obviously because you can't do that. And we're following a woman who has recently woken up and found that her side in the war lost. She is the only remaining person from her side, at least from like high up on her side, and she has something that is stopping people from being able to see her thoughts. She also can't remember certain things from certain times, and they now need to find out what is in her brain because they think it is some sort of secret that could affect their rule. I have started this one. I'm not positive how I feel about it yet, but we shall see. I did go to the event in my city when this author, Senlin Yu, came and talked about their book, and it was interesting. I was intrigued. We'll see what I think about the book, though. It's really long. It's like 1,000 pages. The next one was such a fun event to go to, and that is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I think V.E. Schwab is just one of the most articulate, funny, smart people that I have ever heard speak. She's so intelligent, and I just absolutely loved going to this event and just listening to her talk about this book. This is an adult fantasy. We're following, I think, 3 vampires, and in this world, like being a vampire, the longer you are one, you kind of become corrupted. I don't know if it's like your soul that's corrupted or if your body starts decaying. I'm not positive, but I think it has to do with looking at hunger for whatever it is, this like how it can kind of corrupt you over time. I am so excited to read this one. I think I'm probably going to be reading it in the month of November and December because I believe my patrons have chosen this one as our buddy read. So I'm really looking forward to it. This next one, I unfortunately didn't actually get to go to the event. I had tickets, so I was able to get the signed book afterwards, but that is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I ended up being out of town when this happened. He did this with Brandon Sanderson when he came to my city. It is signed though, which is really cool. I have not read any Joe Abercrombie, but I believe this is a standalone. I think this is like a pretty like grim, dark fantasy. I have no idea what this is about, honestly. I don't really want to know. I kind of want to go into it blind because I feel like so much of Joe Abercrombie's work I've heard a lot about, and this one I've kind of avoided spoilers for. It does have deckled edges, which I hate, but yeah, I'm excited to try this one. I think this might be my first Joe Abercrombie that I tried just because it'd be less of a commitment than like his first Law. This next event I went to was for the kind of re-release of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom in these new editions for Leigh Bardugo. She came to Salt Lake City and again did an event speaking with Brandon Sanderson. It was really fun. I was invested in everything. Like, they were both so funny and just smart. They are just played off each other really well. It was a fun time. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't love these editions, actually. I kind of dislike these editions. I believe they are signed, though, which is exciting, by Leigh Bardugo, and I've heard that there are changes to them, which people are not liking. So I am kind of interested about that aspect of it. But yeah, I don't really love these editions. I just wanted to go to the event. At that same event, I did also pick up a signed edition of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo because I love this book so much. This is my favorite Leigh Bardugo, and so I wanted to have a signed copy. Absolutely love this book. And I also picked up a signed edition of The Emperor's Soul because Brandon Sanderson had also signed some books at that event. There was no signing line, so you kind of had to just buy the book signed, but this is one of my favorites by Brandon Sanderson, and I didn't have a copy of it. All I have is Arcanum Unbounded, which contains Emperor's Soul, but I didn't have an Emperor's Soul copy, so I felt like it was fitting to pick one up. Okay, we are now almost to the special editions. I changed out my battery because I know it's going to die before I get through all of these. But I'm going to start out with some that I kind of like special ordered, but they aren't necessarily special editions at this point. And that is, oh my gosh, they're so heavy. They are so heavy to hold the whole stack. It is the Blood and Fire series by Ryan Cahill, in their indie published hardcover formats, putting them down because they are so heavy. I'm going to try to do them in the order you're supposed to read them, or the order that he suggests that you read them in, but no promises here. So these ones, the Broken Binding, if you don't know, has acquired this series to traditionally publish it. It's the first one they're going to do in their publishing arm, and so they gave the opportunity for people to buy the final indie published print. I don't know if you can read that on there because I can't see it anymore, but it says here final indie published edition, and it is signed by the author. I did not know that that's what this is going to be when I purchased them. I just really love these editions and wanted them because I think this could be a series that I absolutely love. I've only read the first one, but it was a 5-star and I love it so much. This is a series that has dragons. It's kind of like an adult Aragon series, and it is so much fun. I absolutely loved the writing style of this. So let's go through them as far as I know. So this is the first book of A Blood and Fire, and you can read this one first, or you could read The Fall first. Either one is fine, whichever you prefer. You can read this one and then this one, or this one then this one, but these two should come first and second. Then we have Of Darkness and Light, followed by The Exile, then Of War and Ruin, and this is where they get chonky. Look at this sucker. How many pages is this one? It is long. Almost 1,000 pages, 960 something. I didn't look at the exact number, but wow. Then The Ice, followed by Of Empires and Dust. Now, I think the final novella and the final novel have been announced. How long is this one? This one's also super long. This one's over 1,000 pages long, like literally. Yeah. So Broken Binding has promised that they are going to publish them in these indie editions as well, so you can have a matching set. I believe there's only going to be one more novella and one more novel in this series. I'm so excited for these. Plus, Ryan Cahill is going to be at Dragonsteel this year, and I'm so excited to meet him. I absolutely love this series, so really glad I got them in these editions before they're gone forever. I think you can still get them. I'm not positive, but I think you can if you want to go over to Broken Binding's website. I would like to insert this part before we start the special editions, that some of the special editions, the art on them may contain spoilers to the series. So if you haven't read it, you probably aren't going to understand what the art is, and that's fine. But I just like to warn you right now, just in case. I really feel like I should speak about my other Brian Cahill book at this same time, but it is at the bottom of a stack of other Broken Binding books. So we'll get to that when we get to it. Next, I honestly, so many of these are from the Broken Binding. By just looking at the amount that I get from different special edition, like distributors, creator, I don't really know what you would call them, like Fairyloot, Illumicrate, all those. Broken Binding is by far the most for me. So I don't know what that, like, keep that in mind if you're looking into getting some of these. But the next one I have is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. This is the Broken Binding Special Edition. Absolutely love it. I really like the black and white of it. I'm going to pull off, obviously, the dust jacket, but here is some, I can't even see it, some art under the dust jacket, which is very pretty. You could do a reverse dust jacket if you wanted to. And I think this is just absolutely gorgeous. We have these really, really pretty sprayed edges as well that wrap around. And then of course we have art on the end pages. Make sure it stays in frame. This is a dark academia book. I am going to be reading it, buddy reading it with a friend in December. I think we're going to do a live chat about it as well, so keep an eye out for that. But I'm super excited to jump into this. I absolutely love R.F. Kuang's writing. Next is a continuation of a series that I already have some from the Broken Binding. That is Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon. This is the third book kind of in her Priory of the Orange Tree series. It's not necessarily a series, honestly. You can read them in any order. They're just kind of all set in the same world. I am planning to read them in the order they were published, but this is the third one that is significantly smaller. I feel like you might call it a novella for this series in particular, although I think the length is probably a normal novel length for a regular series, honestly. This one has a very classic Broken Binding under the dust jacket naked hardback. This is something that they do a lot. This is really kind of their style. And then it has some art on the end pages as well, and I think it's signed. Yes, it is also signed. I really want to finish out the series. Absolutely love Priory of the Orange Tree, just haven't gotten to it. This next one I don't actually remember buying. I don't know if this was a mistake or not, but my email is such a hot mess that I just can't go and figure it out. But it is The Witcher Crossroads of Ravens by Andrzej Sapkowski. I could totally be saying this wrong. It's a really pretty edition, but honestly, I know nothing about this book because I really don't think I bought it. I could be wrong on this. Honestly, I could have accidentally done it, but like I don't have any other of the Witcher's books, so I'd be kind of surprised if I purchased this one. I really like this kind of black on black. Has pretty art on the end papers, but like in all reality, I don't think I bought it, yet it is here. I bought so much from them though that I'm just going to roll with it because I do not have the energy. If someone from Broken Binding sees this and you want to look into it and tell me if I actually bought it or not, and you find out I didn't, I'm happy to send it back to you. I just, I'm not going to put in that effort. Sorry. This next one is a continuation of a series. I already have the first 3 that I've done on a book haul, and I need to make sure I get them in the right order. Okay, here we go. So we have the next book in the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rauchio, who I think also will be at Dragonsteel, which is awesome. So we have Kingdoms of Death, and you'll see that they connect the sprayed edges, but you can only see this part of it because this is the like 4th and 5th books in the series. Oops, sorry, back to the 4th book. Here we have this really pretty artwork. I think that the colors are just so vibrant and pretty on these. It is signed by the author. Both of them are, which I talked to him at the last Dragonsteel, and he said that his hand was like dying from signing all these from the Broken Binding, and he was hoping that they only did 2 in the next installment, which apparently they did. They listened to him and gave his hands a little bit of a rest. I think he had like just also, his wife had just had a baby at that time too, so he was a little bit really burning the candle at both ends by doing all of that. But we are getting the books. I think this series actually might have just finished out as well. I am not 100% positive, but I think so. We have this. I'm trying to like keep it in the camera frame and I can't see it, so I really hope y'all can see it. And then we have this really pretty art on, I like these naked hardback art that they're doing with these. They're so pretty. And then of course end paper art as well. So these are really pretty editions. I like them a lot. I'm excited to jump into this series. I've heard people absolutely adore it. So I think it's one that I would really enjoy. I think it's kind of like a fantasy sci-fi. This next series, I of course had to get the special editions because I am obsessed and I love this series so much, which is kind of fitting because I talked about A Blood and Fire being an adult Aragon, but it is this special edition of the Aragon series by Christopher Paolini. The covers are pretty much all of the like original ones. Of course they have like the foily editions of them, whereas I don't think all of them were quite this shiny. But the cool thing that I like is these sprayed edges. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. Can you see them? Can we see them? We have dragons on them. They are so cool. All of the different ones. I think it's interesting which ones they chose to put on which books. I'd be intrigued to see why they chose the way that they did. I don't dislike it. I just kind of am intrigued by their choices. But we also have really pretty artwork on these naked hardbacks. I think it's absolutely stunning. Then of course, end paper art. Sorry, I hit the camera. If like the angle moved, that's my bad. I love this one. I think it is so gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. And then of course, artwork. Super pretty artwork on this naked hardback. And then here we go. And here we go. I am trying to like make this as fast as possible. Like taking on and off the covers is it's a thing. And the final one, which it's so thick. Like this book is, it's crazy thick. Okay. I love this series. And I think they also gave us like alternative covers, but I don't know where to put those. You can like put them on yourself if you want to. And usually when I do that, like it just does not look as good. I think I might display them like either with this type of stuff forward because I think this art is beautiful, or with the sprayed edges. Okay, the last one that I bought like as its own individual purchase from the Broken Binding was the second book in the Blood and Fire series by Ryan Cahill of Darkness and Light. This is a special edition that they did that I love. Like I just love the artwork on it. It's covered in a kind of reflective film to protect it. It has these gilded edges. It also came in this really pretty slip case as well, which was optional. Like you didn't have to get it, but I mean, of course I had to because do I have any self-control? No. And then you have, honestly, they almost are a little simpler than some of the other special editions, but I just love them. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This is kind of a like cloth feeling thing. It has the map on it. It is signed by the author, map on the back as well. And these are signed and numbered. So there's 1,500 of them and I have number 132, which I think is really cool. I am so excited that I got in on these when they were first being printed because I think they're a lot more popular now, kind of like the Dandelion Dynasty were by the Broken Binding, and I'm really glad I got these because I think they are just absolutely stunning. And now we're going to talk about the 3 books that are a part of the Broken Binding's actual subscription. So you can get a book every month from the Broken Binding and they will be in a series. So it's a series that has like already been published. And so you'll be getting books from the series every month, and usually it's trilogies, but sometimes it's others, and you can skip like an entire series, but you can't skip like 1 month. That makes sense. It totally does. Does. This series is the Riftwar Saga by Raymond D. Feist. This is the first one, The Magician. I will say I think there's like some sort of a combo going on here. I'm not positive, but I just feel like this one is so much thicker than the other ones. You'll see when we get there. This one is signed by the author and it is numbered. I am in like the higher tier of this. There was only one tier when I first started, but they now have made others to include extra people because it is so popular. I just think that this is a gorgeous series. It is so beautiful, honestly. Here's the second book in the series, Silverthorn. Again, the colors are just stunning, so vibrant. Really like these sprayed edges. I think they are so pretty. And then Under the Dust Jacket, kind of creepy a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but really pretty artwork. And then end paper art as well. And here is the third and final book in the series, A Darkness at Sethenon. I don't know, but again, so pretty. I think this is such beautiful artwork on this series. It's honestly part of the reason I got this series is because I thought that the artwork was so beautiful, because I have not read it and I was trying to kind of be smarter about not getting all the books and skipping when I don't want stuff, but I'm kind of glad I didn't skip this one because I did end up skipping the next one by The Broken Binding, which was like Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. And that's nothing like against how pretty that one was. I think it was actually really gorgeous as well. I just had read it and didn't like it, and there's still a chance I'll love this one. So, okay, we're now gonna jump into Owlcrate. I think all of these came from their actual subscription. I don't think I bought any of them on their own separately. So first we have Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. Have already read this one, absolutely loved it. I think this is a pretty edition. It has kind of that foiling going on, and its edges are this kind of holographic look, which I think is so cool. I really love it. It has an alternate cover as well that you could put on, which I also really like. I think I'll leave it the regular way around, but I think it's just a very like interesting take on it. And I really like this, especially this back part with like the plants on it, I think is beautiful. And then it has artwork on the end pages as well. Next is The Deathless One by Emma Hamm. I honestly don't know anything about this one. I think I got it because the premise sounded really cool, but I haven't heard anyone talking about it. It's a very pretty edition, but it's quite thin. Like, it's a really thin book. It has some artwork here as well. Then we have this red foiling under the dust jacket on the naked hardback, which is super pretty. I like that a lot. And then, of course, artwork on the end pages. And I believe this is also signed by the author. I think all of Owlcrate's were, if I remember right. Next Owlcrate book is Modern Divination. This one is crazy because if you see the regular version, it is so much longer looking. Like, this one just looks skinnier. Ooh, what's on the bottom? I didn't realize there were differences to that. But this is a completely redesigned cover. I really like it. I think the purple is super pretty. And I'm really excited for this book. I think it's a dark academia, and I love dark academia. I know y'all are probably tired of hearing me say that throughout this entire thing, but I absolutely love it. Here is the naked hardback, which I think is so pretty. And then, ooh, some beautiful artwork on the end pages as well. I'm excited to read this one for sure. And the final Owlcrate one is The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. This is such a pretty edition. Has like these foil, like the gilded kind of, but not gold, foiled edges. I don't know what you call them, but look at this. So cool. Okay, and here is the naked hardback, which you could kind of see through it before, and then we have artwork on the end pages, but I just think that's so cool. I think that's so clever. Now we are going to move into some Fairyloot, and we are going to start with the Fairyloot alchemized version. This one is super popular. So many people are wanting it right now. I have started it. I have not finished this book, so we'll see whether I end up wanting to keep this edition or not. But we have this Under the Dust Jacket, and actually I kind of like this better, I think. I don't know. Let me know your opinions. But then you also have like art on the naked hardback, of course. And then we have art on the end pages. And I think it's signed by the author. Yes, it is also signed by the author. Next one is A Dance of Lies, which I am not quite positive if I love this redesigned cover. It's definitely different. I think it's a redesign. It's not the cover that I've seen. If it's not a redesign, it's just because it's the UK version, which is possible. That has happened before and I haven't known. But here is the Under the Dust Jacket art. And we have the naked hardback art as well. I think it's really pretty. And I love the end paper art. I think this is probably my favorite part of the book, is this end paper art. I think it is so pretty. Then we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I am so excited about this book, and I really do like this edition. It's not quite as cool as I was expecting, but I still do like it. I still do think it's pretty. I like the kind of gilding that's happening all around. It has this like color swapped, I don't know, alternate cover that you can choose, which I don't think so. I like the other one better, but I really do like this. I like the foiling on it. I think it's very pretty. And then we have these foiled arts on the end pages, which I absolutely love. The next Fairyloot is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. This is the author of the Caraval series, which is part of the reason I ended up getting it, because I think this is her first kind of foray into adult fantasy, and I'm intrigued to see. I didn't really love the Caraval series, so I'm hoping that I will like this one, but this was a really popular one, so I figured if I didn't love the book, I could probably sell it pretty easily. Sometimes it's hard to like sell these for how much I got them for, since they're coming from a different country, but I think this one I would be able to, hopefully. I think it looks intriguing though. It looks like it maybe has a 1920s vibe to it. I think it could be fun. This next one was the first book that that Fairyloot did in their like adult epic fantasy that they're doing. That's kind of a quarterly thing, and it's The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. So this is a special edition of it. I know I already showed you the regular edition, so you know the difference on them. I like the like changes that they made to it. I really like the art on it. It doesn't have anything under the dust jacket, which is interesting. Haven't seen that in quite a while, but I don't really mind because I hardly ever see that anyway, honestly. But I really like the art on this. This in particular, I think is really beautiful. These like end page arts, I think are gorgeous. So I think this is a really good like start to that series, that subscription. And then this next one is the second one in that, because it is a quarterly one. So we have the Bone Raiders. I don't know if I love the art change to it. It's definitely very different than the original one. So I haven't read it, so I don't know which one fits the vibe more, but it's very, very different than the original one was. I don't know. Here is the Under the Dust Jacket. I think this one has, yeah. So this is similar to the original one, except it has like color swap to it, because this one's more green and the other one's more red. But I really do like this Under the Dust Jacket. It almost has like a bone or wood vibe to it, which I think is cool. And then of course the end paper art is very pretty. I'm intrigued by this book. I'm definitely going to read this one. And then I also have their edition of Catabasis. I wasn't sure which one I would like better, so I did end up getting both. I really like parts of this one, and I really like parts of the other one. I'm still struggling. Let me know in the comments which of these Catabasis editions you like the best. I can't decide. I can't decide. There are things about each of them. This one I think is actually kind of funny because it shows how clearly, like, this is definitely like R.F. Kuang writing herself in. Like, here's the picture of the main character and here's the author. Like, do we see this, right? Like, we're seeing it there. I think it's so funny. I like no problem with it. It's just with that particular art, you can really see it because they're right next to each other. But I love this naked hardback. Honestly, it's so stunning. And then of course you have art, which is very pretty. I like them both. Let me know which one you think you like better. And now we're moving into Illumicrate. These first ones I'm going to go through are ones that I purchased like separate of their their subscription. Sorry, I can talk. First one is A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reed. They had the other book, A Study in Drowning, as well, and this is the matching one that I got to go with it. I do really like these editions. I think they're pretty. I do think I like the Illumicrate version of A Study in Drowning better, but I don't know if they did A Theory of Dreaming, so maybe it's lucky that I have this one instead of the Illumicrate one. But I do really like these editions. I think they're very pretty, and I absolutely loved A Study in Drowning, so I'm glad I have a special edition of that series. This next series is one of my favorite special edition purchases. I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and that is the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. Oh my gosh, I love it. I hope they do the rest of her Realm of the Elderlings. I don't know if they will or not, but here you can see how the sprayed edges line up. I think they are so stunning, so beautiful. Oh, all of these books are so pretty. So first we have Assassin's Apprentice. This is the first book in the Farseer trilogy. This is an adult fantasy that is very character focused. Like, we're following our main character Fitz, who is the illegitimate child of the crown prince. And when he comes to light, the prince gives up his claim to the throne, and Fitz is left to be raised by the stable master. He's trained to be an assassin for the royal family, and oh my gosh, what this poor guy goes through. Like, poor Fitz. I love him, but he just really goes through it in his life. He just cannot catch a break. I love Fitz and the Fool. They are probably one of my favorite duos in like all of literature. I cried so much during the Realm of the Elderlings series. Like, I honestly, the character work in this series is absolutely phenomenal, and I love it so much. But this, these editions are just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm obsessed with them. Oh, they are so pretty. So Illumicrate, if you happen to see this, which I doubt you will, please do the rest of the Realm of the Elderlings. I will buy them. I will give you all of my money, but I would love to have special editions of the rest. I think that they've done, like, we already had kind of special editions of the Farseer trilogy, so please keep going. Okay, next books within Illumicrate is Among the Burning Flowers. I got this one as well because I have the rest of the series, the Illumicrate versions. I haven't decided which ones I like better, and honestly, I love this series so much I might just keep them both. Sometimes I allow myself to do that, sometimes I don't, and this time I think I might, but oh, this is really where this series stands out to me, or this edition stands out to me for this series. I think that this naked hardback art is so beautiful, and then of course we have really pretty art on the end pages as well. Now we're getting into the ones for the actual subscription. First I have is A Treachery of Swans. I don't know anything about this one, but the art on it just looks so beautiful, and I'm really excited to try it out. I think I could love this one. I think this actually is a YA book. Illumicrate does that where some of them are YA and some of them are adult, but yeah, it's so pretty. I actually think the art of the original version is also super gorgeous, so I don't think you can go wrong with either of them. The next one I have is The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Story. I actually did decide to get this one mainly because of the author, because I don't know anything about this book. I do think this is a really pretty edition, but it's not one that I am like blown away by. I don't love like people looking people on there quite as much. I know that sounds kind of funny, people looking people on my cover, but those of you who know it's not one of my favorite things on covers. I know some people love it though, so this is just a personal preference, but I do think that these end pages art is so pretty. Oh, especially like this, that's so gorgeous. And the final one from Illumicrate I have is The Second Death of Locke, which I am so pumped for this book. I think it's one I will absolutely adore, but I don't actually love this special edition as much as the original. I really like the cover of the original. The special edition is pretty, don't get me wrong. Like, I love all the customizations, but like, I'll put it up here, you can see it. I just don't absolutely love this one. I think it's cool though. Again, it has the people looking people on the cover, and that's just not my thing, apparently. So we have this under the dust jacket, naked hardback art. Honestly, this is probably the prettiest part to me. I might display that. And it does have pretty end paper art for sure. It's just not my favorite edition, but I think I will love the book. We'll see. I hope so. So my leg is like absolutely asleep, but I only have one more series left, and that is the Poppy War trilogy that I got from, oh my gosh, where was it? LitJoy. So every once in a while I'll get some special editions from LitJoy, and I think they're so beautiful. They're some of my favorite special editions, and this one has this like interesting like holes in the like case of it. I think this is a gorgeous set, and since I already got this one, I probably will not be getting the Illumicrate one, so I'm really glad this one came out pretty. I'm going to show you the sprayed edges first, actually, so I can put it down, but we have kind of a map thing going on with these sprayed edges. I think they are really pretty, but I think that the spines are prettier, so that's probably what I would display on these copies. My thing is, like, this looks like it has, I don't know if you can see it, but like the color, it's discolored. It almost looks like it got dirty. I don't know if it's damaged or if it's from like the holes in the thing, but I think that these editions are just absolutely stunning. They have so much foiling to them. I love them. I think they're gorgeous. We have end paper art, and then they actually have art throughout the books as well. I don't want to show you too much because I don't want to give you spoilers, but this is like the first book, so there is artwork throughout them as well, which is amazing. I love it. Then you have the second book, which is the Dragon Republic. Again, look at how gorgeous this art is. I know with all the foiling, it's kind of hard for me to make it so that the light doesn't just reflect like crazy off it. But oh, I think they are just so beautiful. And then of course, the end paper art as well. It's just gorgeous. The colors of this, the art, I think it just fits the theme so well. It's absolutely stunning. I'm really glad I got these editions because again, if I would have gotten the Illumicrate ones first, I probably wouldn't have gotten these ones. So I'm glad that I ended up getting them. Oh, I just think they're so, so beautiful and I love them so much. So that's all the books in this book haul. That was exhausting. But I hope you got some ideas of some that you might like to get, some special editions maybe you hadn't seen before that now you might want to try to get secondhand or something. But let me know in the comments, what's your favorite special edition? Which of these books that you have read and loved, which one do you think I will love? Thank you so much for watching. I'm sure this was a very long video, but I will see you in my next one. Bye.